Hello everybody and welcome to this live Q&A session and information webinar all about our MSc in Environmental Risk Management here at the University of Glasgow's School of Social and Environmental Sustainability and at our Dumfries campus. My name is Amy. I'm delighted to be here today to tell you all about this wonderful programme. We're going to be answering your questions live on this session today. So if you have any questions for us or our panel here, please do just use the comment section where you're watching the video here on YouTube, or you can go on to slido.com and use the code #UofGDumfries. Go on to Slido, send in your questions. We are here and ready to answer them. We have some already been sent in as well, which is fantastic. So please do keep sending them in. That is amazing. I am joined today with our program director for this wonderful program. We're with Sarwar here today. And we've also got Sophia here, who's a student here at the University of Glasgow's Dumfries campus. Hi guys. Hi both.
Hello.
Thank you so much for
everyone.
joining us. It's great to have you guys here today. We have got so many questions to get through already. Please do keep sending them in, everyone. But for now, I'm going to hand over to Sarwar, who's our Programme Director for Environmental Risk Management, and I'll let you tell us all about this wonderful programme here at Dumfries.
Thanks, Amy. Hello, everyone. As already introduced me, my name is Sarwar. I'm the Programme Director of MSc in Environmental Risk Management, and I'm a senior lecturer in environmental science and sustainability. So before I introduce the structure of the program, let's try to put some kind of background that why this program is important, why this program has been introduced, and possibly what you could do after the program, joining the program. So possibly we all experiencing the impact of climate change around the world, and the frequencies of the climate change impact in terms of the natural hazards are increasing across the different part of the world in general from the last 30-40 years. And if you look on this map, it shows a general, the broader picture that wherever you are, where you live in, at least one type of natural hazards is impacting around us, starting from either you are living in East Asia, or recent wildfire risk in United States, or flooding risk Europe, especially in Portugal and Spain. We had the flooding hardly hit in 2024. East Asia, the typhoon Yagi, and the wildfire risk in different parts of the world, including the key one in the United States. So wherever you are living, the natural hazards is become part of the life, and we need to prepare an emergency disaster plan or management plan for environmental risk management if we wanted to continue our aspiration of sustainable development. And with that scientific understanding of climate change and natural hazards, we need to get prepared for future risk as well, in terms of understanding what knowledge we require, what types of tools we have to understand the historical environmental risk, but then translating into the future risk so we can deal and prepare ourselves with a holistic view. In addition, it is also increasing an importance to understand the relationships between human and natural system, because this natural hazard is not only the natural one, but also impacting the society. So our social response and the interactions between human and natural system is important to understand the science of natural hazard and environmental risk in an interdisciplinary and holistic way. And that is why we have introduced our environmental risk management program in Dumfries campus, especially considering the growing demand of risk management around the world. You can actually watch some of the videos, some of the testimonies of our previous students like Sanchuan and Lizzie, but there's also other students who had a very good positive impressions about the program, who are working successfully after graduating from a program in different sectors.
I'm a big part
especially after working after graduating in our program. There is a more a prospect in terms of careers, in terms of employability, because this interdisciplinary science-led program will allow you to acquire in-depth understanding of how risk from climate change and natural hazards materialize and affect societies, but also providing a quantifying tools or the analytical tools, or data analysis and modeling in terms of quantifying or understanding the risk, so that we can prepare an disaster management plan. So the careers in the private sectors, there is a huge prospect in terms of consultancies, in terms of public organizations or non-governmental organizations, including private sectors, or like insurance companies or financial companies or the government agencies, but also if you would like to continue with environmental risk professionals in your PhD. Many of the students who completed our program are working within UK, like in environmental agencies or Natural Environment Research Council (NARC), or working in across different part of the world, went back to their country and working in universities and as an NGO professionals. So this is just a screenshot of the Environmental Risk Management Program website, which you could go through, and you can find the different the program structure, how to apply the fees and funding. I'm sure because you have already applied, so you have more familiar with this website. So let's introduce our teaching team, because as I mentioned, the program is highly interdisciplinary, bringing both natural and social science skills, knowledge, and theories. So we also have the expertise from both fields who can really actually work with environmental risk management. Starting with Professor Fabrice, who is the convener of the course Principles of Environmental Risk Management. He's a professor on community and environmental risk. Dr. John Shi, he's a convener of the course Risk and Resilience in Land and Water, and he's an expert on hydrology and climate change. Professor Betan, she's an expert on ecological risk assessment, and Dr. Natalie, the program director from our undergraduate program. She also she is the expert. She's expert on ecology and environmental monitoring, but also on marine pollution. Dr. Michelle Ebour, she works with pollutions, toxicology, environmental chemistry. So do also our colleague Dr. Michael Moore. He works with environmental chemistry and pollution. Dr. Nailman, he works with ecological risk assessment, especially biodiversity, fish, and Dr. Ziren with an expertise with the GIS and modeling, and Dr. Stephen Gillespie, head of the subject of environmental science, with his background on ecology and agriculture. I work with social ecological system and how it can be worked with the natural hazards, climate change, and water security across different part of the world, especially in deltas and African countries. So our program is actually 12 months in full time and 24 months if you would like to go with a part-time, if you have any other responsibilities, and it's based in our Dumfries campus, School of Social and Environmental Sustainability. Teaching starts in September. The tentative schedule starting around the end of September to mid of December. The teaching start mainly I'm referring to in semester 1, and then in semester 2 is mid of January to end of March. But then you also have to do either placement or dissertation from June to August to complete your whole program. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to I'm going to introduce the program that we have. Actually, the program we are referring is we have semester 1 and semester 2, and you have to take one one optional courses and 2 core courses in each semester. The program is currently in ongoing in approval process. We have been approved by the school learning and teaching committee, so we are getting a final, waiting for the final confirmations from the college learning and teaching committee. But in general, what we are going to offer is that in semester 1, the principles of environmental risk management course, led by Professor Fabrice, which introduces the disaster risk management, the nature-based solutions, ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction, the broader idea of risk, the vulnerability, the resilience. So we have the theoretical understanding of the broader discussion or the debate on environmental risk management. Then the modeling social and ecological changes and risk in the semester 1 as well, convened by me, which actually introduces the data-driven and process-based modeling so that you get a hands-on training on how to analyze data, how we can model the data, but also program the data, because there is a growing demand of risk professionals in terms of environmental risk data handling, managing with the growing demand of machine learning or AI technologies or the big data technologies. So there is a need to have hands-on training on data analysis and modeling. Then the optional course, you have to choose one optional course that I'm going to give an overview in the next slide. Then in semester 2, starting from mid-January, you will have risk and resilience of land and water, which is basically dealing with the different risk in both in terrestrial and aquatic system, but also hydrometeorological risk, the atmospheric risk, and the risk initiated, emerging in the both land and water. So the research method course in environmental risk and management, that is providing a broader perspective or the tools, the methods, how you can analyze the data, how you can develop questionnaire, how you can engage in a consultancy service, including your communication and critical thinking ability in research methods and environmental risk and management. Then you also have to choose another optional course in semester 2. So these are the possible list of optional courses that you could take from either environmental communication program or the ecology and environmental monitoring or tourism or the coastal management, the program that we have in our school. So it's depend on how you would like to shape or you would like to work in different industry and which sector you would like to work. And with the support, intensive support from the study advisor and as a program director, you can choose based on your need, based on your background, based on your future career, what kind of courses. There's a wide ranges of courses from coastal management, also from ecology and monitoring, but also from tourism sectors that you would like to take if you are interested in. So you can choose a maximum of 2 optional courses over the 2 semester of the program. And then in summer, starting from June to end of August, you have to choose either dissertation and a placement. And the dissertation, you'll be typically supervised by any of the expertise that I introduce as the teaching team. But in terms of the placement, you can actually go in a different organizations, in a private sector, in NGOs, or even a government or any other universities, and experience and placement experience. We can also have a collaborative placement with the collaborations between University of Glasgow and other organizations. So there's a different options that you could choose as part of the dissertation and placement in the summer. So that you can complete all the credits required for the program and the degree. In terms of the field experience, because you see the four core courses is designed in a way that students not only have the theoretical knowledge and tools, but also they go to the field and see the real world experience, because we are living within in a natural environment, or we also have the natural hazards, so people students can actually gain that experience and get a practical hand experience in terms of the fieldwork. So each of the course actually have a fieldwork embedded, but also most importantly in terms of hands-on tool in when it comes about the modeling or data analysis in both modeling and social ecological change and risk and research methods in environmental risk management courses, because you will be guiding or going through really hands-on exercise, computer exercise, or different softwares, programming skills, so that actually you develop your skills and knowledge for the future career. So this is just the photos that the previous students has gone through with the faculties in terms of the flood risk, in terms of the coastal erosions, in terms of the forest management and agricultural field, how the agricultural the farmers are dealing with environmental risk in Scotland. So this is just the glimpse of the teaching garden. I'm sure that Amy has possibly had an overall slide about this, but this teaching garden we also use in terms of ecological data or the risk assessment or the land use planning within our school. So student also walks, go to the field and engage in this teaching garden to get more theoretical knowledge and experience in terms of environmental risk. In terms of the assessment, there is no exam, but students have to submit the reports, the presentations, go through the fieldwork, because there will be a marking also in terms of the fieldwork and submitting the reports. Out of this fieldwork, you have to work individual assessment, like individual essays, group work, so that you not only develop your individual capacities, but also group work and team working capacities, which is really important for your future career if you want to work in different sectors. So each courses has different weighting in terms of the assessment, but writing report, presentations, submission of coding in terms of data analysis will be part of the assessment. But inevitably, the policy brief, it could be also part of the assessment for the different courses. If you have any informations, if you can go through the websites that I have copied in terms of our research group, that environmental science and sustainability, but also the Natural Center for Resilience, which is actually based in our school, which is closely related to our program. But in general, the critical thinking, the system thinking ability for the holistic management of environmental risk, the data analysis, the scientific communication skill will be developed through the program, and definitely teamwork skills to develop through your group work, so that you can work in different industries, government sectors, academia, and if you want to do a PhD. But I'm happy to answer any of your questions, or if you need any kind of discussions after this session, I'm happy to chat over it. Thank you very much.
Sarwar, thank you so much. That was fantastic. So much information there. I'm sure we've answered a lot of questions already with all the information you've been able to provide today. So thank you so much. We have actually had some questions that are getting sent in right now, which is fantastic. So we're going to get to those right now. At first, I'd like to introduce Sophia back onto the Hi, Sophia. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you again for joining us. I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit, if that's okay, and then we'll come back and we'll answer some questions. Keep sending them in, everyone. Thank you so much for sending your questions in. You can use slido.com and use the code #UofGDumfries, or you can use the comment section as well where you're watching this video. But for now, Sophia, would you mind introducing yourself a little bit, please?
Yeah, sure. So hi, everyone. I'm Sophia. I'm an international student. I currently studying sustainable tourism and global challenges. okay, which it's also a lot of like environmental sustainability approach to tourism. Okay, I come here from Mexico, and well, my whole experience has been actually really great. It definitely has been like a great change. University has been there for me since day one. Since I arrived here to Dumfries, also like for me, Dumfries was like the perfect location to have the environmental and sustainability school, due to the location itself. It's like it has a river. It as you already also saw in the pictures with the garden. So you definitely are in touch like on that environmental, like green environment. And you get like the whole experience of actually being studying those type of subjects, like firsthand. And then well, yeah, my program definitely it's a little bit related to environmental, a little less than the one that the professor just presented there, but I'm also sure as well it's as great as program as mine. So yeah.
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. And I think, yeah, different program obviously, but I'm pretty sure you mix quite a lot with other cohorts and other classes, don't you? In on the campus, it's something I quite like about it. But what's your experience of that being like? Have you been able to make friends outside of your own program as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We definitely are like I would like to say almost like a big family there, because well, every international student or postgraduate student is having like it's experiencing the same thing as one, so it's actually really cool because we get really in touch with like what are their assessments, or like what are the courses that they are like dealing with, and like what are the challenges that they are facing, and like you get to see like all these differences between like each of the courses. But it also like, well, like personally for me, it makes me want to like go into further research regarding like those things that I might not be able to have like a course of, but definitely I know I can reach out, whether it's like to a professor, to also like a fellow student as well, and be like, hey, so it's really interesting, and I think like it can be linked with the one that I'm actually studying right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely we get to meet all of the courses. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's so great. I'm so glad that's been your experience and you're able to share that. Thank you so much. I'm going to bring Sarwar back now as well because we've got lots of questions to get through. So we're going to go with our first question here that was sent in. So thank you so much for this. Fantastic question. Is ecosystem restoration and rehabilitation in the context of risk management addressed in the terrestrial and aquatic systems courses? Now, Sarah, I'm going to come straight to you for this question. Could you talk to us a little bit, please?
Yeah, thanks. I think the course in terms of the ecosystem restoration or rehabilitation is not directly, but in terms of indirectly, because like in principles of environmental risk management, the course ecosystem-based adaptation or ecosystem-based, which mainly focus on how the ecosystem can be restored or rehabilitated using ecosystem-based approach or nature-based solution, or in terms of ecosystem restoration, what are the broader theories like a vulnerability, risk, or resilience of ecosystem restoration. So that concept will be introduced, but then in the course, for example, land and water, risk and resilience in land and water, then you understand or you go through the different the risk in land, in water, while you each actually gain this knowledge. But in terms of the research method and modeling social ecological changes and risk, you get then the data that you need to analyze for the ecosystem restoration and rehabilitation. So you get prepared with the concepts and knowledge and skills and models that will be required in general for environmental risk, and that definitely includes ecosystem, because our program is an interdisciplinary, so both it includes from ecological side but also from the social side. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, I hope so. Yeah, thank you. That's a fantastic question. Thank you so much. We have another one here that has been sent in via Slido, so thank you so much. Is the knowledge learned throughout the program also applicable for tropical environments? Great question.
Yeah, great question. I really like that one. I think, yeah, of course, why not? I mean, it's definitely because our program is a global program, is global understanding. The case studies are taken from across different part of the world because as a research intensive University of Glasgow, our colleagues working with cutting edge research in marine environments, in deltas, in coastal environment, in Asia, in Africa. So it's definitely the knowledge and experience will be useful for that. But in particular to your question, environmental risk, I showed in my slide that it doesn't matter where you are in, at least one or two types of environmental risk are not only necessary, it's a natural hazard, but other environmental risks are around you or around us. So it's applicable and useful for the tropical environment, but also because we have students from different parts of the world, from United States, from UK, from China, from Bangladesh, from India, from Indonesia, from different African countries. So tropical environment is definitely one of the key interests, and it can apply after you graduating from our program.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. And you bring up an amazing point as well, which is something we're really proud of, is that we have a truly international campus and classes and cohorts within our school. And I think it's really important that we bring together all those different perspectives, bring together different cultures and backgrounds as well. And we're able to really learn from each other, not just from, one point of view. We're actually able to bring in all these different world viewpoints, and that feels really special. I mean, Sophia, from your perspective, you mentioned this a little bit, being a group of your second family of international students, but has that been your experience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. All of my classmates are actually international. There are only a few, that are Scots originally. But it's really interesting because, like, socially speaking, the cultures that they have, as well as like the interest they have, regarding like the tropical environments that they know like are in danger or like in risk, as well as myself, as Mexico's having like desert or a little bit of tropical. So it definitely it does change a lot, and it definitely like gives you like a broader point of view and like more in touch of what's happening, like in the world.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. No, thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for this brilliant question. Another question. Okay, Sophia, this one is definitely for you. What do you like to do in Dumfries when you're not in classes? What do you get up to?
Okay, perfect. So, well, in Dumfries, what I like to mainly do, it definitely depends on the weather. Like if weather permitted, I love to go out, just even like for a walk. There are like certain like coffee shops, small cute like they call them here like gift shops, but they have like a lot of like really cute stuff. So I always send over a message to my friends here at Dumfries, and well, we basically go out if it's weather permitted. If it's not weather permitted, what we like to do is like we all hang around I'm in uni accommodation. So what we do is that we actually set up like movie nights, also like game nights as well. Or if we do want to go a little bit more like international, we like to host like international food parties, we have like Mexican style night, and also like Indonesian as well as Japanese. So it's actually really cool because we have like someone that is like from that country making like the accurate dishes. So we also like to do that a lot.
Yeah, that sounds so much fun. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite coffee shop in Dumfries? If you want.
I actually do. It is called the King's Coffee.
Yeah, King's Coffee. I know exactly which one that is, and that is one of my favorites. I think actually they come to Fresher sometimes as well, which was awesome. So you get to student discount as well, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So many questions. We could chat forever. So many questions to get through. Okay, are the fees for the field trips included in the tuition? Do they have an extra cost? So, I mean, the simple answer is no extra cost. It's all included. Don't you worry. Sarwar, is there anything else you'd like to say on this one, though?
No, I mean, there is no additional fees for the field trip because each courses have a field trip, and there is no additional charge, is including the tuition. But it's just to add points to the Sophia, in addition to the interactive in the classmate or the friend circle and within the Dumfries. But I think we are also within the Dumfries and Galloway, which is one of the highly touristic place that most of the people from whole UK already started from April to until August. So I think I'm sure that students, because especially students from my class, they really enjoy different like national parks or any other the touristic spots that we have in addition to their study. Because we are living close to nature. So there is lots of other places in addition to the town life or the interactive classmates. If someone is fancy about traveling, a very good places to visit around the Dumfries.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Okay, let's see what. Oh, thank you so much. Just had a comment. Thank you so much for your answers. You are more than welcome. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to have you here. And we've got more answers coming up because we've got more questions coming in. So what is field work like with classes? How often are you in the field? So we've touched on this a little bit already, but Sarwar, could you share a little bit more about this, please?
Well, actually, because most of the 4 core courses, because first let me discuss about the 4 core courses, because which is the structure or the core of environmental risk management program. And within these 4 core courses is actually mainly designed with theories and and the tools, and then also the field work. So each courses have a different type of design. Maybe one of them going for a whole day field work, or maybe some of them like a 2 field work, and whole classes, faculty, sometimes other faculty members like I join, the postdocs, sometimes the PhD students also join with the field work, which is really interesting to interact beyond your class. But it depends on which courses and program you are in. For example, the modeling the social ecological changes and risk, which is completely on hands-on data. There's no field work, because you will be sitting or introducing different software, going through from basic to high skill modeling, also interacting with the guest lectures, because which is also an value added in our different courses. But for the other courses, you really go for the field. In addition, if you choose the optional courses, because there you have actually freedom, or you have your choice to make what is your background, either coming from science, you can come from engineering, you can come from arts, and then how you like to design your career path, in which sector, where you want to work on what topic. And that helps choosing the optional courses, because you can choose field-based optional courses, you can choose more oriented toward communications or theories. You can choose more like management or GIS based optional courses. So actually you can embed what you want to do, whether you want to more focus on fieldwork based or theory based. But yeah, in short, it depends on which courses you are actually enrolling for. But as a study advisor program, we will have in each of the sessions, because then you can choose finally what courses you would like to. So it's not alone, you are just coming in the program, and you have to choose there's a study advisor program as a program director, but also the student support team who will be helping you to design your program or the courses. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you so much. I think we've got time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Let's see. I should say we are going to be monitoring our comments chat and our Slido for a little while longer. So even if you don't manage to make to join us live, send in your questions anyway. It's totally fine. We will be monitoring the comments and we'll be able to get some answers to you. But for now, question: how do the skills developed in this program relate to private sector jobs? Fantastic question. I'm going to jump in here really quickly and just do a little shout out to our careers pages that we actually have on our website. The link is actually now scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's glasgow.ac.uk/schools/SES/postgraduate/careers. Every single one of our programs has its own bespoke page, all about different career opportunities, whether it's private, public sector, or anything else you might want to know about. It's all split up really nicely. It talks about things like salaries or expected working times, current jobs that are available, how to get into these jobs, as well as links to support from a university, our college, and our school perspective as well. So tons of support and resources for you on those pages. Please do check them out. That was just, I had to say that. I love these pages. They're so useful. But yes, Sarwar, I mean, specifically private sector jobs, how are we preparing our students for these?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, because environmental risk management, especially the risk professionals, after the COVID-19, the way we have dealt with pandemic, is the private sector. There's a growing demand in the private sector because many of our students are working in the private sector jobs. I would say half of them are working in the private sector jobs, either working in industry, either working in business sectors, or including like a tourism or any other, like a finance company, consultancy companies, or insurance companies, because all they need to see what are the risks associated. And environmental risk, and now there's a very common, because if someone is working in an insurance company, the natural hazard, the flooding is very common. Either you are working in Europe or United States or Asian countries. So that environmental risk, that theory, is the broader knowledge on interdisciplinary science-led program is our program is about. So once you graduated, you have that knowledge, you have that skills, but you also have that techniques or modeling to analyze the data and how to draw conclusions. And especially in the private sector, there is always communications, team management work is highly required. All these actually skills, critical thinking, are being introduced to our course. So you prepared for not only the private sector, but if you would like to in the government sector, you are working, returning to academia. So you are well prepared with using the holistic approach for environmental risk management. So definitely private sector is one of the key that why the graduates are recruited after the graduating from environmental risk management.
Absolutely. Sarwar, thank you so much. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. We could talk for ages about this amazing program and all the opportunities. So thank you so much for your time, both of you. Thank you to everyone for joining us as well, for sending in your questions. As a reminder, and as I said, we will be monitoring our comment section and our Slido for a little while longer. So don't miss out. Send us in your questions. It's totally fine. We are here to answer them. It's not a problem at all. We'll be delighted to answer all your questions. But for now, I will say thank you so much, Sophia. Thank you so much, Sarwar, for your time today and for your input. It's been great to hear all about this program. And to everyone watching, thank you so much for joining us. We very much hope to see you on campus very soon in September. But for now, we'll say goodbye and thank you so much. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.